Hi, in this video today we're going to see if we can fix this old wind-up watch. It's running about 10 minutes fast per hour. So the background is, this is my brother's wife, so my sister-in-law's watch, and she really likes it. It's not an expensive watch, it was just bought from an antiques fair. It's been working fine, but then it started to really be erratic with the time. Now when I had a look at it, I seen that because it was gaining so much time, I wondered could it be a problem with being magnetized. Now it's a wind-up watch, so it's got a balance wheel on the inside which oscillates like this. The longer the spring, the longer it takes to oscillate, so the slower the watch will go. The shorter the spring, the faster it will oscillate and the faster the watch will go. Now what can happen is, because the spring is like a spiral, if it becomes magnetized, some of those springs can then touch together like this, in which case then it makes a really short spring, so it's oscillating really fast. So I'm wondering if it's just a case of it being magnetized. Now when I put it up to this compass here, you can see that it does seem to have an effect on it. So when I kind of move it around here, you can see that the compass is moving as well. So maybe it has become magnetized. Now look, if we put it on the watch timer down here, it will fail to give a reading, or sometimes it might come up with a load of pluses, which means it's not close enough to give a reading. There you go. Can you see it's failed there? So let's try to demagnetize it to see if we can get it to then give a reading, to see if it can work again. Now my brother did take it to a watchmaker nearby, a proper watchmaker, not one that just changes batteries, and the minimum price was £150, not including any parts. Now unfortunately the watch is not worth that. My sister-in-law likes it, but it's not an expensive watch, so it wouldn't be worth spending £150 on. So let's see if we can fix it quick and easy by using one of these, a demagnetizer that I got from China really, really cheaply. So I'm going to plug it in. Now what we have to do is we have to press this button, and that will basically demagnetize it. And while holding it down, we're going to lift the watch up from it like this, and then when the watch is far away we can release the button here. Hopefully then that will demagnetize it. I'll do it a couple of times and we'll see if it makes any difference. So okay, I can feel it vibrating now. You can probably hear that. Now I'm going to lift it away slowly like that, and now let go of the button, and I'm just going to do that again. Right, let's see now if the second hand is still ticking, which it is. You can see at the bottom there moving around. Now let's put it on the watch timer and see if it's given a better reading. If not, I might do it a couple of more times. No, so it's still failed. Right, let's do it a couple more times. And do it face down. No, so it's still all over the place. Right, let's get the back off this and see if we can physically see what might be wrong with it. Okay, so I've got it in a little holdall here, and I think I've seen what the problem is. So I'm going to zoom in and see if you can spot what the problem is as well. So now this is the balance wheel here, and you can see that the spring itself doesn't look to be stuck together. So I was wondering, why is it still running fast? Because it is. When I bring this back over to the timer, it's still running really, really fast. But let's zoom right in and have a close look at the spring. Right, so we've got the balance wheel moving here. In fact, I can stop it. There, yeah. Now the spring's above it just here. Now you see the spring starts off on this pivot point here, and then it runs through this bit here. This is how we regulate it. If we put this bit nearer to the start point, it's making the spring longer because it starts from here and goes round here. If we move this point away from this point here, then it's shortening the spring because it's resting against this, so it's going to make it run quicker. So the difference between here and, for example, here could be maybe a minute a day or something like that. But look where the spring is actually touching. the spring is touching this top plate here on about the second revolution in. Not sure if it's going to come up on the camera at all. So that outside spring is in line with this one here, but the inside spring is touching the top one. So I'm just going to see if I can tap it back down, just in case it's gone a little bit off center. In fact, let's see if I can do it on camera with a little needle. So I'm just using a little needle, and I'm just going to go in on this bit here. I'm going to try to lift it up just here. Yeah, it's still resting up here. And can you see it's gone right down the bottom here? So it's like the spring's been twisted ever so slightly. So I think maybe it's been dropped and the impact has knocked it. Right, I'm going to try to do it through the microscope, and then we can put it back on the timer and see if it's going to be back to normal or not. Right, good news. So what I did is I got a little needle and I just put a little bit of pressure up on this bit here. And what it did is it just lifted up this side. And by lifting up this side of the balance spring, it's dropped this side down away from the top bit here. Now, I know a proper watchmaker would take the balance off and make sure that balance was perfect and nice and flat. But it's looking, I think it's looking okay. The good news is now that we've got a pivot again between here and here. So this is the only point of contact here, while before it was irrelevant what this was doing here because the point of contact was on the second coil in. So it's off the top of that now. So let's put it back on the timer. I'm just going to put it back in its case, put it back on the timer, and let's see what it's doing. Right, at the moment of truth, I just want to see, is it still moving the compass? No, it doesn't appear to be. So maybe it was a little bit magnetized, but that wasn't the problem. Right, let's pop it on here and turn it on. Let's see what it's doing now. Remember before it was something like 22 to 5,000 beats an hour. Let's see what's coming up with now. Excellent, 18,000. So that's going to be 5 beats a second. And there you go, we've got a time now. So it's 83 seconds fast a day. So that can be hopefully just regulated using the regulator on it itself. Amplitude 255 degrees, beat error 0.7 milliseconds. That's not bad, it's a very old watch. And we're down to 37 seconds fast a day now. I might try to regulate it a bit. Remember, different positions on here will give different readings. So for example, if I haven't got the front on properly yet, but if I was to go down here, it's going to give a different reading again. So you can see now it's going to be running slow. So when you're actually wearing it, some parts will be running fast. In certain positions, some positions will be running slow, and hopefully between all of them, it will average out and give an okay time. Well, fantastic. I'm going to just put the front back on properly now, and yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like that, and I don't think I'm going to regulate it any further, because I think she was quite happy with how it was working before it went faulty. So there you go. In this instance here, the magnetizer didn't make any difference, but sometimes it can. And yeah, I don't know what happened there. I would say some sort of impact damage, which happens. And yeah, I think it's knocked that balance ever so slightly out with the shock. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.